Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 6th of March for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you the standout features to look out for, and of course there are two massive ones this week with Saturn's arrival in the sign of Pisces. But please stay with me because I will dive deep to give you each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces in forensic detail. But this introduction gives you a perspective of what we're collectively going to experience this week. And of course, the standout is the arrival of Saturn in Pisces. But this coincides with the full moon in the sign of Virgo. Each year, the Virgo full moon asks us to balance the more perceptive, emotional and spiritual dimension of the sun in the sign of Pisces with the more practical and physical plane of Virgo. So if we're investing too much time and energy in really speculating about what we would like, Pisces, but not taking the action to go through the processes, Virgo, then that is going to create a degree of inertia. So getting an attunement between the physical and the spiritual planes is the key to the next 2 weeks. But Mars is pretty close to a T-square between the 2 points. So I think it's possible that some secrets and information can spill out into the open and in quite an abrasive way. Mars, of course, is a very impatient influence, particularly in the sign of Gemini, which is to do with words, messages, communication. So Pisces being in the 12th house is more to do with secrets. So anything to do with work or health, I feel that there will be information coming into the public domain over the next 2 weeks that could cause some shocks. But also, Uranus is in the mix on this particular full moon, encouraging us to look at things in a fresh and different way. And in fact, later this week, it's Mercury's turn in the sign of Pisces to link in a very productive way with Uranus. So if we use the energy of Pisces to listen to our intuition, but take action in a more grounded, earthy way through the guise of the moon in Virgo or Uranus in Taurus, that's how we're going to make the most of this week. Now, if you're a returning viewer to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us. Please comment and interact. I do interact with all comments that are made. This is very much a community, and please like and subscribe. So Libra, your week commencing the 6th of March forecast sees that glorious link between your ruler Venus in your sector of relating, where you have Jupiter too, in a fine link with Mars. So if there is somebody you can collaborate with, the chances are that it could be a sparkling experience. This could be romantically, could be socially, could be through your work if there's a creative dimension that you both have an enthusiasm for. But of course the big news story is going to be Saturn pulling up in the 6th house, and over the next couple of years you will be reviewing quite a lot about how you work, your life structure, the organization thereafter. Are there some things that you can change? Those marginal gains that are very important with Saturn, those small but important touches that add up to something more substantive. But of course this does coincide with the full moon. And I feel that the 12th house full moon is probably one of the trickiest of the year, to be honest. So in your work or professional situation, there may be some energies that are beginning to peak, and it may be where there are some people who are not completely supportive of your situation, and they may actually be using some of the dark arts, unfortunately, because Mars is in a square with Neptune, one of the trickiest aspects in astrology. You had this all through October, November, the first week of December. So with Saturn moving into the 6th house, if there are some people who are critical or picky, who don't have your best interests at heart, their truth, the 9th house, their higher truth, may be very different to yours. So with Mars in a pivot, in a T-square between, it is a broader one at 5 degrees, but in a T-square with this full moon, I feel that the truth may out. Fortunately, Uranus, which of course has been a very restless influence in the 8th house where you're most invested, that's actually forging a great link with the Sun and also with Mercury, both in your 6th house. So if there are some ways that you can think freshly about reordering your finances, perhaps moving things around, being a little bit nimble on your feet in terms of how you can get more from them, perhaps by trying some different approaches, I think that could see you having some important but helpful conversations this week. But with Mars in that square with Neptune, if anyone tells you something that you're not entirely convinced of where they're coming from, do make sure you listen to your sixth sense.